All right, we are live. Hello, hi, good afternoon, everybody. How are you doing today? I'm Anushri, your mentor, your teacher, and I am here ready to welcome you to this brand new one-shot session for NEET 2022 where we are revising friction today. All right, so tell me quickly. I can see a lot of people are here. Hello, Anshu. Hi, Kiran. Hi, Samiksha. Hello, Komal. Good afternoon, Prem. Good afternoon, everybody. Okay, so quickly tell me if I am properly audible, properly visible, there is no technical issue whatsoever. Give me a thumbs up in the chat window so that we'll get that out of the way and move ahead with the session. Yeah? Come on. Tell me if everything is technically okay in this live session. Yeah? Alright, I can see Prasiddhi. Good afternoon, Prasiddhi. Hello, Shifa. Good afternoon, Debrat. Here I've got polytechnic classes. You guys have really interesting names. Huh? Tell me, what is your name? Polytechnic classes. Good afternoon. Hello, Kiran. Yeah, Kiran, Shifa, Prem, they have given me the indication that everything is A-okay. Right? All right. Thank you, Raj. Thanks, Prasiddhi. Prem, Komal, got it. Everything's good. Let's get started. Now, before we get started, I want to know, how is your prep going on, yeah? What do you think? What is going on in your heads right now? How is the prep going on? Because as you can see, it's not even 3 months to NEET, right? Yeah, it's less than 3 months now. So, are you still thinking that you're a little bit scared of physics? थोड़ा डर लग रहा है या फिर अब डर कम होता जा रहा है जैसे जैसे ये NEET one shot sessions होते जा रहे हैं? Right? I hope आप लोग बेसिक से यहाँ पे समझ रहे हैं and then after the session is over, you have to practice questions. Right? ये बहुत जरूरी है. So, after every session, you have to practice questions. टाइम देखकर प्रैक्टिस करना है, टाइम बाउंडेशन के साथ प्रैक्टिस करना है, एंड बिफोर द सेशन डोंट फॉरगेट टू गो थ्रू द एनसीईआरटी टेक्स्ट बुक्स. एनसीईआरटी टेक्स्ट बुक बहुत अच्छे से यू गो थ्रू इट एंड देन कम टू द सेशन. यू विल बी मच मोर बेनिफिटेड बाय इट देन. राइट? सो अच्छा, यहां पे मुझे दिख रहा है इन द चैट विंडो, समीक्षा सेज गुड, ग्रेट, एंड के प्रसाद, hello, good afternoon. All right, polytechnic classes, your name is Vimal Shukla, yeah? All right. Great, Vimal. So, how is your prep going, Vimal? Prem, all right, I can understand. You guys, prep is going good. Shridha, हाँ, questions बन रहे हैं अब आपसे, but speed नहीं आ रही है थोड़ी सी. Don't worry guys, speed के लिए क्या करना है हमको? स्पीड के लिए वी नीड टू कीप रिवाइजिंग द कॉन्सेप्ट. जैसे मैंने आपको बोला था, आई हैव टोल्ड दिस इन मेनी वन शॉट सेशंस कि एट द एंड of every one shot session, what do we provide? We provide you with mind maps, right? Mind maps are a very good short notes of that particular chapter. ठीक है, सारे mind maps को लेकर के प्रिंट आउट लेके एक फाइल में करके रख लो. आई बिलीव इन पेन एंड पेपर. ठीक है, पेन एंड पेपर में जब तक आपके पास नहीं होता ना, फील नहीं आती है. तो पेपर्स में रखो माइंड मैप्स को. Every night before you go to sleep, make sure you revise everything that's there in the file. सारे chapters के formulas हमको revise करने हैं. It will only take half an hour. Simple पढ़ना है, that's all. Right? That way all the concepts will be there in your head, and when you practice with time. Give yourself 45 to 60 seconds per question. When you practice, take a bunch of questions with you. 45 questions at least आपको एक बार में लेके बैठना है. And once you do this, your speed and accuracy both will increase. Okay? All right. Here I can see Deepak says, I request ma'am थोड़ा सा और हिंदी यूज किया करिए. Of course, Deepak. Well, here I would ask you guys also. See, कभी कभी क्या होता है, हम फ्लो में ना अगर हिंदी बोल रहे हैं तो हिंदी बोलते चले जाते हैं, इंग्लिश बोल रहे हैं तो इंग्लिश बोलते चले जाते हैं. बिकॉज मेरा ध्यान तो तुम लोग को समझाने में होता है. राइट? सो व्हाट यू कैन डू इज, इफ यू फील कि मैं ज्यादा इंग्लिश बोल रही हूं, आप चैट में लिख दो मैम हिंदी में थोड़ा बोलिए. अगर आपको लगता है, इफ यू फील दैट आई एम स्पीकिंग इन इंग्लिश टू मच और आई एम स्पीकिंग इन हिंदी टू मच, राइट, राइट इट इन द चैट विंडो, रिमाइंड मी. बैक एंड फोर्थ कॉन्वर्सेशन चैट्स में होते रहना चाहिए. दैट वे बोथ आर कम्युनिकेशंस विल बी गुड. राइट? ओके, ऑल राइट. let's do that then. Let's start the session. Friction आज करने के लिए जा रहे हैं हम. Friction में what you have seen is whatever we have studied about laws of motion, right? Newton's laws of motion में जो कुछ भी पढ़ा हुआ है हमने वो सारा का सारा friction में use होता है. And the only thing is that in Newton's laws of motion we study the basics using the ideal scenario that there is no friction whatsoever between surfaces, but in friction we bring that reality into the picture as well, right? थोड़ा सा scenario को हम real कर देते हैं. That's about it. So let's go. Let's start with today's session. You know, just like every time, we will start from the basic concepts. We will understand application of concepts, and then we will practice questions also. Questions भी आप time limit में करोगे, right? यहाँ पर मेरे पास एक timer चलता रहेगा so that you understand whether you're able to solve the questions in time or not. Okay? Let's go. Let's start. In today's session, these are the subtopics that we'll be covering. What is friction? Types of friction, comparison of static and kinetic friction, angle of friction and angle of repose, and double block system, right? Okay, let's start. Okay, Raj is asking something, ma'am, what do we have to do after session to make concepts more strong? Session के बाद, Raj, make sure you go through the mind maps really well and practice करो. आज हमने अगर फ्रिक्शन का सेशन किया है तो जाकर के फ्रिक्शन के क्वेश्चंस की प्रैक्टिस करो, राइट? प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चंस के लिए आई वुड से PYQs, गो फॉर प्रीवियस ईयर्स क्वेश्चंस फर्स्ट एंड देन गो फॉर DPYQs. DPYQs क्या होते हैं? थोड़ा फैंसी टर्म लग रहा होगा, बट DPYQs आर डिराइव्ड PYQs. मतलब क्या? अगर कोई क्वेश्चन प्रीवियस ईयर में आ चुका है तो उसी के तरीके का क्वेश्चन थोड़ा सा ट्विस्ट करके, बट वेरी सिमिलर क्वेश्चन विद डिफरेंट वैल्यूज एंड डिफरेंट सिनेरियोज अ लिटिल बिट, सो दैट योर कॉन्सेप्ट एप्लीकेशन बिकम्स रियली स्ट्रांग. ठीक है? अब अगर प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चंस की आप बात कर रहे हो तो प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चंस के लिए हम यू विल गेट इट फ्रॉम एनीवेयर, राइट? कोई भी एक क्लास को पकड़ लो, कोई भी एक सोर्स को पकड़ लो एंड कीप वर्किंग विद दैट सोर्स. ठीक है? We also provide a lot of practice questions, PYQs, DPPs, worksheets. You can use that as well, right? That will strengthen your concepts, solidify कर देगा concepts को. All right, let's move on. Zero to hero तक. All right, pretty soon I'm gonna take a session on how to score 650 plus in NEET, right? क्योंकि government colleges आपको 650 plus में मिलते हैं. Depending on the cutoffs that we've seen, right? Last year ka cutoffs, previous year ka cutoffs, uske previous year ka cutoff. So pretty soon I'm going to take a really in-depth session. उसमें हम ज़्यादा उसकी बात करेंगे. अभी without further ado, let's get started with today's session. All right? Keep an eye out for notification. Okay. Let's move on. Let's go to the first subtopic of today's session. आज हम क्या कर रहे हैं? हम फ्रिक्शन कर रहे हैं. तो अभी बाकी सारी चीजें दिमाग से निकाल दो. Leave everything out of it. Just concentrate on friction. That's all. ठीक है? Single thing in your mind for the next 1.5 hours is going to be only friction. ठीक है? All right. Let's move on. What is friction? Friction क्या होता है और कब लगता है? So the thing is, friction is a force that is related between two surfaces in contact. Whenever there are two surfaces in contact, then if there is a tendency for relative motion between the two surfaces, अगर दो surfaces के बीच में slipping की tendency होती है, relative motion की tendency होती है. See, here I've got this table. On the table, if I have a book and I just slide it on the table, right? Do you see what's happening? The book is sliding on the table. There are these two surfaces in contact, top surface of the table and the book, and there is relative motion happening between two. Whenever this happens, there will be friction. Friction जाग जाएगा, right? That's what friction does. As long as the two surfaces are in contact and there is no relative motion or no tendency for relative motion, then friction does not care, right? Friction will not come, friction नहीं लगेगा. But as soon as there is even a tendency, सोचा भी अगर relative motion के बारे में, then friction will immediately come out, right? That's the basic idea of friction. पूरे chapter में यही idea लगने वाला है. All right? Okay. Now let's see what kind of a force is this. Friction, of course, is a contact force because it is in, between two bodies that are in contact. Friction is electromagnetic in nature, and It acts between the microscopic particles between the surfaces of the bodies that are kept in contact. बॉडीज के सर्फेसेस के जो माइक्रोस्कोपिक पार्टिकल्स होते हैं उनके बीच में फ्रिक्शन लग रहा होता है. एज अ रिजल्ट यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड दैट ईच बॉडी एक्सर्ट्स अ कॉन्टैक्ट फोर्स ऑन द अदर. पहली बॉडी दूसरी बॉडी के ऊपर कॉन्टैक्ट फोर्स लगाती है और दूसरी बॉडी पहली बॉडी के ऊपर कॉन्टैक्ट फोर्स लगाती है. राइट, द फर्स्ट बॉडी अप्लाइज फोर्स ऑन द सेकंड बॉडी अप्लाइज फोर्स ऑन द फर्स्ट बॉडी. यू अंडरस्टैंड वेरी वेल अबाउट कॉन्टैक्ट फोर्स. कॉन्टैक्ट फोर्स अगेन can be at any angle. Now there will be two components of contact force, just like we studied in the previous session also in Newton's laws. We understand that the perpendicular component perpendicular to the two surfaces is normal contact force, and the component that is along the two surfaces, that is friction contact force. Right? Normal contact force के बारे में हमने पहले बहुत पढ़ लिया है. Friction contact force is what we are going to concentrate on. All right. So here you can see that there is, ground applying contact force on the block in turn applying contact force on the ground. These are action-reaction forces. If I look at their components, I will say that ground applying normal force on the block applying opposite normal to the ground. Similarly, ground applying friction force to the block and block applying friction force to the ground. Okay? Now, friction force always acts such that it is going to stop relative motion, right? Friction opposes relative motion. Okay. Now here there's a pickle, okay? Friction opposes relative motion, not motion. There's a huge difference here, right? So, there could be motion happening of the two surfaces, but as long as there is no relative motion or tendency of relative motion, friction will not act. Okay, so do remember this. Friction does not care about motion. It cares about relative motion between the two contact surfaces. Okay, all right. Now here you can see that this person is pulling the block. If it's pulling the block over here in this direction, then do we understand that the block has a tendency to go forward with respect to the surface, so the surface will pull it back by friction, right? So friction on the block will be backwards, friction on the ground will be forwards. Okay, I hope you understand this. Once we understand this, let's go a little bit into depth in the reason behind friction, right? बहुत simply, बहुत जल्दी इसको cover करेंगे हम. Why does friction come into the picture anyway? कैसे लगता है friction? So the thing is, no matter how smooth a surface looks, right? If I look at this table right now, yeah, यहाँ पे मेरे पास एक टेबल है. If I look at this table right now, or you look at the table that you have, you will think that the surface is really smooth. But if I go microscopic, then what happens? Microscopic में जाने से, yes, thanks for reminding Deepak, good job. Okay, microscopic में अगर हम गए तो क्या होगा? Table उतनी smooth नहीं लगेगी. It won't be as smooth. What we will see is these kind of jagged edges, right? इस टाइप के कोने के edges हमको दिखेंगे यहाँ पे, right? तो what happens is now the two surfaces that are in contact, जो दो surfaces contact में हैं, वो दोनों के edges जो है वो इस तरीके के हैं. Do you see that? Jagged edges. तो उनका क्या होगा? वो interlock हो जाएंगे, इस तरीके से interlock हो जाएंगे and they will not let each other have relative motion, right? वो relative motion को prevent करेंगे and that is what comes out as friction force. ठीक है? ये तो हो गया एक reason. There is another reason as well, right? Another reason is that what happens is, अब ये देखो आप लोग कि कोई भी body, right? Do you understand that अगर कोई force लग रहा है, दो surfaces that are in contact, there will be normal force between them, right? Normal contact force between them. अब किसी भी surface के ऊपर अगर force लग रहा है, then if that surface is pretty flat and this is how the force acts, तो क्या होगा? Pressure यहाँ पे surface में distribute हो जाएगा पूरे surface पे, right? तो pressure value will be smaller. But if I take the same value of force and apply it with the point of contact as a very like tiny sharp point, तो क्या होगा? यही force अगर मैं sharp point पे लगाऊंगी तो pressure बहुत ज़्यादा मिलेगा आपको, right? So that is what happens at microscopic level. ठीक है, आपको क्या मिलता है कि अगर एक body दूसरी body के ऊपर रखी हुई है, two surfaces are in contact, right? Then what we have is normal force between them, normal contact force. And normal contact force is what? Pushing force, right? पहली body दूसरी body को push कर रही है, दूसरी body पहली body को push कर रही है. And this normal contact force, if it acts such that these jagged edges are in contact, right? ये देखो, ये बहुत sharp edges contact में है, तो ये जो force लग रहा है यहाँ पे, right? The entire force that is acting over here is concentrated over here. मतलब pressure बहुत ज़्यादा हो गया, and what happens is there are cold bonds that get formed over here. ये fuse कर जाते हैं, right? अगर ये fuse कर जाते हैं, इस टाइप के jagged edges जो contact में होते हैं over here and over here also you can see, then in order for us to make them move with respect to each other, हमें ये cold bonds तोड़ने पड़ते हैं, right? That means what? You need extra force. That's what happens in friction. Okay, so there are two reasons for friction to come into the picture. One is interlocking, the other is cold bond formation. Fuse हो जाते हैं ये, right? Now, if there is interlocking between the irregularities, of course, there is friction that comes in and there are bonds that are formed. Of course, we've learned about this. Now, let's go and let's see how these two reasons culminate as friction और किस टाइप का फ्रिक्शन बनता है हमारे पास, right? So we've learned what is friction, we've learned the reason behind friction. Let's understand about types of friction now. Now you understand that there are two types of friction, right? Static friction होता है और kinetic friction होता है. Now what is static friction? Friction between two objects when there is a tendency for relative motion between them, right? मतलब क्या हुआ? As I've told you, friction जो है ना, even if the two surfaces in contact, they start thinking about relative motion also, तो friction आ जाएगा act करने के लिए. बहुत proactive है friction. Okay, so friction will come to start acting. That friction, when the two surfaces are in contact, there is no relative motion actually happening, but there was a tendency for relative motion to happen, right? Then only friction started acting and stopped the relative motion from happening altogether. ठीक है? तो ये फ्रिक्शन कौन सा होता है? ये स्टैटिक फ्रिक्शन कहलाता है, because there is no relative motion happening as of yet. Friction has stopped that relative motion. So this is static friction. Kinetic friction on the other hand, कि भाई there was a tendency, right? And then this relative motion started happening. Friction came, tried to stop it. Static situation में tried to stop it, but relative motion का tendency इतना ज़्यादा था कि relative motion तो हो गया. Friction could not stop it, right? So here what is happening? Relative motion is happening, but then friction does not stop acting, right? What friction does is अभी भी जोर लगाता ही रहेगा, लगाता ही रहेगा, लगाता ही रहेगा. So that's what friction does. So friction keeps acting even when there is relative motion happening, right? It failed to prevent relative motion, but it still keeps on acting. And this is when we say it is kinetic friction, because relative motion between these two surfaces is happening. There is kinetic, but then friction that is acting right now when the relative motion between the two surfaces is happening. ठीक है? I hope you understand this. These are the two types of friction, kinetic friction and static friction. Now, how do we work it out? Like, कौन सा friction लग रहा है, कैसे लग रहा है? Let's understand all of that with an example. Okay, so say for example, this is a really big block and this person is pulling it. ठीक है? Actually, there is this situation, right? You might have studied it or you might have seen the situation a lot in railway stations. Railway stations में क्या होता है? बहुत बड़े-बड़े boxes होते हैं जिनको coolies कई बार खींच रहे होते हैं, and you will see that the coolies, right? There is one person say pulling that block. अब वो क्या करेगा? खुद अकेले try कर रहा होगा, but they won't be able to. वो अपने एक friend को बुलाएगा, बोलेगा मेरे को इसको ना move कराने के लिए help कर दो, फिर मैं ले जाऊंगा इसको, right? A lot of the times you might be doing that as well when you are, say, you know, pulling or pushing a really big, say, almirah or something, right? तो उसमें क्या होता है? Here you will see what's happening over here. So this person over here, he pulls. First he applies 5 Newton force, कुछ नहीं हुआ. Then he applies 10 Newton force, again कुछ नहीं हुआ. Then he applies 15 Newton force. And then he's thinking, what is still keeping the block at rest? चल क्या रहा है? So the thing is, when he's pulling the block over the ground, these two surfaces are in contact. Do you see that? Ground and block. That means the ground is applying friction force on the block backward direction and the block is applying the friction force on the ground, right? Okay, so abhi tak it is not able to move, right? Static friction is a variable resistive force which is equal and opposite to the external force until it surpasses the threshold of motion, right? When the slipping starts. मतलब क्या हुआ? यहाँ पे अब देखो कि 15 न्यूटन तक तो लगा लिया, कुछ नहीं हुआ. अब he will increase the force, right? So now, do you see that when the person applied 5 Newton, friction भी 5 Newton था. When the person applied 10 Newton, friction भी 10 Newton था. When the person applied 15 Newton, friction भी 15 Newton था. Right? So what we see over here is after he applies 15, a little bit more than 15 Newton, right? Then slipping starts, right? So मतलब क्या हुआ? Friction force is actually a self-adjusting force. Static friction force is a self-adjusting force. The maximum value of static friction force that can go without slipping is the limiting friction value. Okay? Alright. So, here you can see that limiting friction is maximum possible friction force between two surfaces before sliding begins, and FL is directly proportional to N. Now the thing is that total contact force is at an angle, right? Total contact force लग रहा होता है, उसका perpendicular component is normal, parallel to the surface's component is friction. So the idea here is that what happens is the parallel component, right, friction is proportional to the perpendicular component of contact force, normal. Friction is directly proportional to normal. If it is limiting friction, then limiting friction is directly proportional to the normal at that point, and the coefficient is mu. Okay? Alright. So, you can see that constant of proportionality over here is mu, and if I look at the free body diagram over here, I will say that this external force is acting over here, gravitational force is acting downwards, then there is normal reaction from the ground, and friction force is acting backwards, right? Okay. If I look at, try to find out the value of friction force at this particular instant, I will say that friction force is equal to mu into N. Now, since right now in this particular instant the block is not having any vertical motion, right? The block is not flying away vertically somewhere, right? We can say that vertical acceleration is going to be 0. So vertical forces are balanced. Matlab normal is equal to mg in this particular situation, and that we can substitute over here and get the value of friction, limiting friction. Okay? Alright. Now, this mu, right, this coefficient of friction that gives you limiting friction ka value, that is called coefficient of static friction. Okay? Alright. So now we understand that what happens at the end of it. If the applied external force exceeds the value of the limiting friction, then the slipping starts, that is relative motion starts. So we can say that nature of friction switches from static to kinetic. Okay, so here you can see that the first scenario, when the external force is being applied but the external force is less than limiting friction. External force जो है less है limiting friction से, तो क्या होगा? There is no relative motion happening, no slipping happening, and the amount of friction जो लगेगा वो उतना ही लगेगा जितना required है. Now, when you increase the external force, तो क्या होगा? If you increase the external force to लिमिटिंग फ्रिक्शन का वैल्यू, तो क्या हुआ? आप इंक्रीज करते करते लिमिटिंग वैल्यू तक चले गए, देन फ्रिक्शन जो लग रहा है वो लिमिटिंग वैल्यू लग रहा है, एंड द स्लिपिंग इज जस्ट अबाउट टू स्टार्ट. ठीक है, आपने अगर फोर्स इतना सा भी बड़ा कर दिया, अब जरा सा भी बड़ा कर दिया, देन स्लिपिंग विल स्टार्ट. ठीक है, but at this particular moment you understand that slipping will start, but very slow slipping. ठीक है, मतलब acceleration at this particular instant will be approximately equal to 0, because what you have done is you have applied an external force which is very small value, bigger than limiting friction. ठीक है? Okay, now what? If you increase the value more, external force का value और बड़ा कर दिया, तो it will switch from static to kinetic, the relative motion will start, the value of kinetic friction will be Fk, and there we go. Acceleration, if I want to find out, I'll say that external force minus, right, net pulling force divided by total mass. Net pulling force is F external minus friction divided by mass of the object, right? Very simple to understand. Okay, so let's come to kinetic friction then. What happens? Here also you can see that ski कर रहा है ये, क्या हो रहा है? There is relative motion between the ski and the ice, right, and the snow. So here you can say that kinetic friction exists between contact surfaces only when there is relative motion between the two contact surfaces. Okay, right. How do we find out what is the value? We can say that kinetic friction is also directly proportional to n. यहाँ पे बस coefficient of friction थोड़ा सा change हो जाता है. In case of limiting friction, the coefficient of friction was mu s, static friction coefficient. यहाँ पे it will be mu k, kinetic friction coefficient. Okay, so here we can say that kinetic friction is directly proportional to n. Kinetic friction value is equal to mu k times n. Mu k is the proportionality constant, which is coefficient of kinetic friction. All right, I hope this much is clear. Now let's understand a little bit about properties of coefficient of friction, whether it is static or kinetic, right? Coefficient of kinetic friction depends on nature of surfaces of materials in contact, right? Nature of the surfaces पे depend करता है. Mu is not defined for a material alone, but for pair of materials in contact. ठीक है? This is important. मतलब क्या हुआ? When friction is happening, the mu, the coefficient of friction, whether it is coefficient of static friction or kinetic friction for that matter, it will depend on both the surfaces. ठीक है? Coefficient of kinetic friction is independent of area of the surface in contact. This is also really important. ठीक है? Say for example, I have got a steel table and a wooden block. There is some value of mu. Now if I take a bigger block or a smaller block, doesn't matter. The value of mu will remain the same. Okay? Coefficient of kinetic friction is independent of the relative speed of the surfaces in contact. Right? So, independent of the relative speed of the surfaces in contact, matlab as long as relative motion is happening, there will be a certain coefficient of kinetic friction. अब वो कितनी speed है relative? 10 meter per second is the relative velocity or 15 meter per second is the relative velocity? Does not matter. Alright? I hope you understand this really well. We will go ahead now and apply whatever we have learned. Right? It's time for understanding of application of concepts. So, quickly, come on, let's go to this question. I have a timer with me as well. I'll quickly read out the question for you, then I'll start the timer. You'll get only 30 seconds to solve the question. Okay? The question is the retarding acceleration of this car due to is 7.35 meter per second square due to frictional force. It stops the car of mass 400 kg traveling on the road. The coefficient of friction between the tire and the road is, take G as 9.8 meter per second square. This was asked in 2017. Your time starts now. Quickly solve the question and tell me what the answer is. Come on guys. Alright, यहाँ पे मुझे poll दिख रहा है. Guys, come on. Answer in the poll. What is the value of coefficient of friction between the car and the road? Come on. Quickly tell me what the answer comes out. All right. Let's go to the chat window. Okay. What do we do here? We'll say that the retarding acceleration is given here, right? Retarding acceleration matlab the only retarding force that is acting is friction force, right? So what do we say? We'll say that the friction force will give you the retardation. So retarding acceleration will be nothing but, see, retarding acceleration will be equal to friction force divided by mass, right? And the car has, now if I draw the FBD, I'll say that this is weight of the car, mg. This is normal reaction from the ground, and I can say that friction force is acting backwards. Friction force will be equal to mu times n, which is mu times mg, because there is no other vertical force and they are balancing each other out, right? Okay, so mu mg divided by m, this cancelled out. What do I get? Mu times g. This is the value of acceleration in the reverse direction. मतलब retardation हो रहा है ये. Mu g अगर retardation है, then what is the value of mu? A by g. That means mu is equal to 7.35 divided by 9.8. I know this calculation might look a bit weird, but look at the options, right? So when you calculate this, it comes out to be 0.75. Mu value is 0.75. All right. If you look at the options, you will see that 0.75, 0.77 might look a bit closer together, but you can actually take an approximation of 10 from 9.8 and then think that the final answer should be a little bigger than when if you take g as 10. ठीक है? Okay, थोड़ा सा calculation की tricks हम लगा सकते हैं to reduce the time taken for calculation. All right, let's move on now. Answer is option number D and great. I can see that 16 people answered within time, out of which 8 people. Oh, all right, out of which 12% of people gave the correct answer. Okay, let's move on now. Shridha got D, I can see that. K Prasad got B. I hope you understand this really well though. Question clear hai, right? Okay, Sandhya says options are very close. Yeah, Sandhya. NEET में ये चीज होती है थोड़ी. कभी कभी आपको बहुत दिमाग लगा के अपनी कैलकुलेशंस शॉर्ट करनी पड़ती हैं, या कभी कभी ऑप्शन नहीं रहता है कैलकुलेशन शॉर्ट करने का. Alright, let's move on. Let's go to the second question. This question came in 2014. Let's start. A system consists of three masses m1, m2, m3 connected by a string passing over a pulley. The mass m1 hangs freely and m2 and m3 are on a rough horizontal table. ठीक है? Coefficient of friction is mu between the mass and the table. Pulley is frictionless and of negligible mass. The downward acceleration of m1 is. Assume the three masses have equal mass. m1, m2, m3 is each equal to m. These are the four options. You have to find out the acceleration of the downward mass, hanging mass. Okay, your time starts now. 30 seconds you have to solve the question. देखो मैंने question read करके आपको already help out कर दिया, right? Now the thing is, in this particular question, no, exam में figure नहीं दिया हुआ था. Okay, so what do we know? Question read करके figure बनाना आना चाहिए, right? Okay, so what do we do then? Come on guys, time's up. What is the answer? A, B, C और D? क्या दिया हुआ है यहाँ पे? M1 हैंग कर रहा है, M2 और M3 सरफेसेस पे है. मतलब क्या हुआ? This is the situation. M1 हैंग कर रहा है, M2 और M3 सरफेस पे हैं. अब क्या? M1 अगर हैंग कर रहा है मतलब M1 की टेंडेंसी है डाउनवर्ड एक्सेलरेशन की. Let's say acceleration is A. Since M2 and M3 are both connected with the string, both will have acceleration A towards the left, right? And do you see that? If I look at their free body diagram, I will be able to draw the free body diagram very easily, because अगर M2 और M3 को देखेंगे तो नीचे तो M2G लग रहा है, ऊपर नॉर्मल लग रहा है, फ्रिक्शन यहाँ पे लग रहा है, opposing the relative motion. Kinetic friction होगा तो mu times n. This is equal to mu n. M3 का भी वही identical scenario होगा. You have downward as mg, upward as normal, and there is friction is equal to mu times n, right? N is equal to mg because vertically तो block is not flying away, is it? Right? So N is equal to mg, मतलब friction is equal to mu mg. Alright? Now what? Now you look at the entire system and say that एक साइड से तो gravity pull कर रही है M1 को down, दूसरी साइड से friction is pulling them back. Right? How do we calculate acceleration? We say that net pulling force divided by total mass. So I can say that if this is the entire system, then on one side we have gravity pulling it down m1g से, दूसरे side में friction is pulling it, that is 2 mu mg से. What do I say? Acceleration is equal to net pulling force divided by total mass. Acceleration is equal to mg minus 2 mu mg divided by total mass, which is 3m. here we go. This is the answer. M gets cancelled out. G comes common. G times 1 minus 2 mu divided by 3. Right? So all you need to do is understand what's going on and solve the question. Right? Concept बहुत simple है. You understand how to apply the concept. Right? जिनको speed की problem आ रही है, वो again I will say, guys, do practice with time limit. टाइम लिमिट के साथ जितना प्रैक्टिस करोगे आप, उतनी आपकी स्पीड और एक्यूरेसी बढ़ती चली जाएगी. So here we go. The answer is G times 1 minus 2 mu divided by 3. And from here onwards, we'll go to the next subtopic of today, which is, yes, comparison of static and kinetic friction. Okay? Static friction और kinetic friction को अगर हम compare करेंगे तो क्या मिलेगा? See, first things first, of course, static friction का separate mu static है, coefficient of static friction. Kinetic friction का separate coefficient of kinetic friction है, right? Static friction happens due to two things. क्या? Interlocking भी हो रही है and bonding भी हो रही है. Interlocking is also happening, bonding is also happening. But in case of kinetic friction, only interlocking happens because bonding होने के लिए उतनी देर stationary रहता ही नहीं है. Do you understand? There is no opportunity for bonding because there is relative motion, continuous relative motion going on between the two surfaces. So the only reason why kinetic friction comes into picture is because of interlocking between the jagged edges. Okay? Alright. Now here, if I talk about the values, I will say that since there are two things at play in static friction, obviously the value of the highest magnitude of static friction will be bigger compared to the kinetic friction, right? Limiting friction की value kinetic friction की value से बड़ी होती है. Fs maximum, which is limiting, FL भी बोलते हैं इसको, right? Fs maximum, which is limiting friction, is bigger than kinetic friction, and because of that, you know, दोनों को divide by n कर दोगे तो static coefficient of friction is a bit bigger than kinetic friction का coefficient. All right? Okay. Krishna Goje says नहीं समझ में आ रहा है. Krishna, what are you not understanding? Okay, think about it this way. मैं ग्राफ से समझाती हूँ, आपको और अच्छे से समझ में आएगा. Okay. So here I have got a graph. एक्सटर्नल फोर्स जैसे जैसे इंक्रीज करते जाओगे वैसे वैसे स्टैटिक फ्रिक्शन इंक्रीज करता जाएगा. स्टैटिक फ्रिक्शन इज अ सेल्फ एडजस्टिंग फोर्स, राइट? मतलब क्या हुआ, अगर आपने 5 न्यूटन लगाया तो स्टैटिक फ्रिक्शन 5 न्यूटन लग जाएगा, आपने 10 लगाया तो स्टैटिक 10 लग जाएगा, 15 लगाया तो 15 लग जाएगा, टिल इट कैन गो टिल अ सर्टेन हाईएस्ट वैल्यू. स्टैटिक फ्रिक्शन भी इनफाइनाइट वैल्यू तक नहीं जा सकता है. द मैक्सिमम इट विल गो विल बी टिल म्यू एस इंटू एन. ओके, then what happens? This is where the limiting friction value comes into the picture, FL, limiting value of static friction. ठीक है, maximum value of static friction. फिर क्या हुआ? Friction got lost, right? Friction lost and relative motion का tendency 1, मतलब relative motion started. Beyond which also, if I keep increasing the external force, relative motion will start and the value of friction goes down. Right? So अब क्या होगा? As kinetic friction is happening in kinetic friction, since it is only because of interlocking, यहाँ पे bonding हो नहीं पा रही है, तो kinetic friction का value थोड़ा सा कम होगा compared to the maximum value that we could achieve in static friction. ठीक है? Alright. So here we can say that यहाँ पे देखो static friction का maximum value जो मिलता है limiting friction उससे थोड़ा सा नीचे आ जाता है अब value. Kinetic friction जैसे ही लगने लग जाता है it's a little bit lesser than limiting friction. Alright. Okay, let me explain it again. I can see that कुछ लोगों को समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. No worries. Let me explain it again. Let me go back. हम बिगिनिंग से स्टार्ट करते हैं. अब यहां पे देखो, अगर मैं कोई एक्सटर्नल फोर्स लगाती हूं इस ब्लॉक को मूव कराने के लिए, ठीक है, व्हाट विल हैपन? देयर इज रिलेटिव मोशन बिटवीन द टू सर्फेसेस. अगर मैंने एक्सटर्नल फोर्स लगाया तो फ्रिक्शन लगेगा बैकवर्ड्स, राइट? If I keep an external force, if I apply an external force, then there will be a friction backwards. Now, for smaller value of this external force, अगर मैंने सिर्फ 5 न्यूटन लगाया तो friction will be 5 Newton, right? To stop relative motion. Okay. If I apply only 5 Newton, friction will be 5 Newton. If I increase the external force to say 10 Newton, friction will be 10 Newton. If I increase it to 15 Newton, friction will be 15 Newton. Right? क्यों? Because static friction is a self-adjusting force. Self-adjusting मतलब जितने की जरूरत होगी उतना लगेगा, ज्यादा नहीं लगेगा. Right? ना बहुत ज्यादा ना बहुत कम. अगर 10 न्यूटन की जरूरत है तो 10 न्यूटन लगेगा, 15 न्यूटन की जरूरत है तो 15 न्यूटन लगेगा. If the requirement keeps on increasing, the static friction force will keeps on increasing as well. Right? So here you can see that if the requirement, मतलब क्या? External force, applied force, if you keep on increasing, the static friction force will keep on increasing as well. Okay? Now, static friction force cannot go till infinity, right? Infinite force नहीं लग सकता है. There will always be a limit. Limit क्या हुई? Maximum value तक जाके रुक जाएगा ये. मतलब this is the maximum value of static friction. क्योंकि ये limit आ रही है यहाँ पे, this is called limiting value of friction also. ठीक है? So this is called limiting friction also. मतलब क्या? The maximum value till which static friction goes. FL. Okay. Now what? अब अगर से इतनी वैल्यू से ये 15 न्यूटन है. Okay, this is 15 न्यूटन. एक्सटर्नल फोर्स हमने 15 न्यूटन लगाया एंड स्टैटिक फ्रिक्शन 15 न्यूटन लग गया. बट 15 के ऊपर नहीं जा सकता फ्रिक्शन. So now if I increase my external force again, no, what will happen? Relative motion will start happening. मतलब क्या? Relative motion will start happening and now it is kinetic friction acting, not static anymore. ठीक है? Kinetic friction act करने लग जाएगा and kinetic friction का value constant होता है. Kinetic friction is not self-adjusting. Okay? Kinetic friction value होता है constant which is equal to mu times n, mu k times n. Alright? Now, if I keep increasing the external force further, अगर मैं और भी ज्यादा force लगाती रहूंगी तब भी कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. Kinetic friction will be constant value. Okay? Do you understand this now? I hope you do. Let's move on now. Let's go to the next scenario. What happens when you walk? Yeah? While walking, the foot presses the ground at an angle, right? अब जब चलते हो तो क्या होता है? आपका foot ground को एक angle पे press करता है. The ground in turn exerts a reaction force on the foot, right? Okay. Shifa? Okay, glad to know that you're understanding really well. Let's move on now. So, अब चलते time पे friction कैसे help करता है? This is what we're understanding. Okay. So, you know, कोई ice rink में गया है कभी? If you go in an ice rink, no, wearing normal shoes, you won't be able to stand also for a moment. आप क्या करोगे? आप जैसे ही enter करोगे ना, वैसे ही आप फिसल जाओगे. ठीक है? Why? Because ice rink पे आप चल ही नहीं सकते. You will slip, you will fall down. मतलब क्या हुआ? चलने में friction help करता है. Right? कैसे help करता है? Let's understand that over here. When you walk, the foot presses the ground at an angle. मतलब इस तरीके से angle में press कर रहा है. That means this is action force, this is reaction force, reaction from the ground, and this reaction force is at an angle, right? Equal and opposite. मतलब there are two components. एक vertical, which is normal, एक horizontal, which is friction. Make sense? Okay, okay. So here we go. Parallel component of contact force is friction. Perpendicular component is normal. And do you see that? अगर आप ground को पीछे push करते हो, तो ground आपको आगे push करता है. Ground pushes you forward, right? That means the friction force that gets applied on your foot is actually in forward direction. That is how you are able to accelerate forward, right? So I can say that here acceleration provided by friction is equal to F in the forward direction divided by mass. Okay? All right. इसका मतलब यही है कि हम फॉरवर्ड एक्सेलरेट कर पाते हैं बिकॉज द ग्राउंड अप्लाइज फ्रिक्शन फॉरवर्ड डायरेक्शन में. Let's move on now. Let's understand more concepts. The next one is angle of friction and angle of repose. Okay? Angle of friction and angle of repose. ये दो angles ना बहुत important है समझ लेने के लिए. It's very very easy to understand. Okay? Don't get confused between them. We'll talk about these angles one by one. Alright. The first angle is angle of friction. Angle of friction क्या होता है? Whenever there is friction force acting, there will be an angle of friction. Okay? Think about it that way. What is happening? The angle made by the resultant of normal reaction and limiting friction with the normal reaction. Okay? So, here we go. यहाँ पे आपको दिख रहा है angle of friction, right? मतलब यहाँ पे अगर मेरे पास friction force है और यहाँ पे normal है, तो contact force will be at an angle, right? The net contact force, right? So the angle between the net contact force and normal is angle of friction. ठीक है? Angle between net contact force and normal is angle of friction. If it is static friction happening, you will understand that if it is static friction happening, value of friction is self-adjusting, right? Static friction में value of friction self-adjusting होता है. छोटे की requirement होगी तो छोटा value होगा, बड़े की requirement होगी तो बड़ा value होगा. Corresponding to that, the angle of friction might change. ठीक है? Now, if I talk about the maximum value of angle of friction, right? Maximum क्या होगा? अब think about it this way. मैं यहाँ पे एक दूसरा diagram बना रही हूँ, okay? Here I have this block being pulled by a very small external force. ठीक है? Normal reaction तो यहाँ पे है. अगर कोई friction नहीं लग रहा है, if there is no friction acting whatsoever, then the resultant contact force will be along normal only. ठीक है? तो in this case क्या हुआ? Angle of friction 0 मिल गया हमको. अब अगर मैंने external force लगाया तो क्या होगा? Equal and opposite friction भी लग जाएगा क्योंकि relative motion को stop करना है. Static friction लग गया, right? Now this static friction that acts is self-adjusting. मतलब ज्यादा की जरूरत होगी तो ज्यादा लगेगा. Right now you can see that this is the value, right, of final contact force. मतलब angle of friction ये है. Do you see that angle of friction goes from vertical and keeps on increasing, right? जैसे जैसे friction की value बढ़ती जाएगी, angle of friction बढ़ता जाएगा. Angle of friction will come to a maximum value जब static friction की value limiting हो जाएगी, right? When static friction becomes limiting, that is when we get alpha maximum. All right, maximum value of angle of friction. वो हम कैसे कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं? वो हम कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं by applying, yes, basic idea of vectors. So we can say that here we go. We have Fs as the horizontal component, n as the vertical component. Fs की value है mu n, right? Because limiting friction, maximum value of limiting friction की value कितनी होती है? Mu times n. This is mu s into n, right? So यहाँ पे हम बोल सकते हैं tan alpha is equal to perpendicular component divided by parallel component, which is equal to f by n. मतलब n यहाँ पे gets cancelled and you have alpha is equal to tan inverse mu. ठीक है? All right. So the maximum value of angle of friction is between limiting friction and normal reaction. Okay? Maximum value comes out to be tan inverse mu, but angle of friction can vary between 0 and tan inverse mu depending on कितना friction लग रहा है. Okay? So 0 to tan inverse mu. All right. Let's move on now. जब भी हमारे पास friction होगा, तो हमारे पास एंगल ऑफ फ्रिक्शन होगा, ये हमको समझ में आ गया. ओके, नाउ द नेक्स्ट थिंग इज एंगल ऑफ रिपोज. ठीक है, एंगल ऑफ रिपोज. रिपोज का मतलब क्या होता है? एनीबडी नोज डिक्शनरी मीनिंग ऑफ रिपोज? रिपोज क्या था? रिपोज इज एक्चुअली एन ओल्ड इंग्लिश वर्ड. ठीक है, और बहुत पुराने जमाने में, लाइक वेरी वेरी फार बैक, आई वुड से रोमन के जमाने में, यू वुड सी दैट लेडीज यूज टू रिपोज. मतलब वो ना ऐसे इंक्लाइन में ऐसे होकर के आराम से लेटती थी. ठीक है, और आराम कर रही होती थी. एंड यू नो, princesses and queens and all of that, that pose was called a pose of repose. वहां से आया ये एंगल ऑफ रिपोज. ठीक है, बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग है इसका एटिमोलॉजी अगर आप देखोगे तो. आई वोंट गो देयर, बट द आइडिया हियर इज दैट द एंगल ऑफ इंक्लाइन. अब यहां पे क्या कर रहे हैं, जैसे ही हम रिपोज की बात करेंगे ना, रिपोज को आप सोचो इंक्लाइन. ठीक है, जब भी वी हैव अ ब्लॉक एंड इट इज केप्ट ऑन एन इंक्लाइन, मतलब यहां पे हॉरिजॉन्टल है तो there is no issue whatsoever, right? It's not going to slip on its own. But if I keep increasing the angle of incline, यहां पे मैंने क्या किया, एक angle of incline लेके आ गया, right? So what happens over here? I'll say that the block has a tendency to slip. If the block has a tendency to slip down, there will be a friction stopping this block from slipping down. ठीक है? Now this is static friction. Static friction. बट स्टैटिक फ्रिक्शन भी एक लिमिट तक स्टॉप कर सकता है. सो इफ आई कीप इंक्रीजिंग द एंगल, व्हाट विल हैपन? देयर विल कम अ सिचुएशन वेयर द ब्लॉक विल स्टार्ट टू स्लिप, राइट? सो द एंगल एट विच, द मैक्सिमम एंगल एट विच द ब्लॉक स्लिप्स इज कॉल्ड एंगल ऑफ रिपोज. ओके, ऑलराइट. The maximum angle at which the block slips is called angle of repose, and again we can calculate it using the free body diagram. We can say that, here we go, mg is vertically downwards, its component along the incline is mg sin theta, its component perpendicular to the incline is mg cos theta. Here also you can see that the mg cos theta will be cancelled out by normal because the block is not flying anywhere. And यहाँ पे हम immediately we can say that maximum value of friction will be equal to mg sin theta, right? Okay, so maximum value of friction is equal to mg sin theta, which is also equal to mu n, right? So here we can say that mu times n, which is this, by the way, mg cos theta, this is equal to mg sin theta. Mu का value यहाँ से आ जाता है, mu is equal to tan theta and theta is equal to tan inverse mu. ठीक है? So although magnitude of both the angles comes out to be the same, but do remember the difference. Okay? Whenever we are talking about angle of friction, जब भी friction हो रहा है तो angle of friction लग रहा है. But if you are talking about angle of repose, we'll say that angle of repose acts only when you place a block on an incline and the highest angle at which the block starts to slip. Okay? That's all there is to it. All right. Sushmita, yes, correct. Inclined surface just beginning to slide. Now that we've understood this much, let's go and let's solve a question. Come on, guys. Let's solve a question. Here's a question that came in NEET 2018 and you have 30 seconds to solve this question only. I'll read the question first, then I'll start the timer. In a situation, the contact force by a rough horizontal surface on a body placed on it has constant magnitude. ठीक है? Contact force का constant magnitude है. If the angle between the force and the vertical is decreased, the friction force between the surface and the body will. Friction force का क्या होगा? Friction force, will it increase, decrease, remain the same, or what exactly? Right? May increase, may decrease. Here we go. Come on guys, quickly tell me. इसमें तो कोई calculation भी नहीं है. This is a purely conceptual question. Okay? Alright. Come on. Quickly solve this. Quickly tell me what the answer comes out. In the meantime, Ghatak is asking, ma'am, यदि 11th, 12th and 1 drop year भी बर्बाद किया, तो second drop year में IIT crack हो सकती है पूरा 0 से, क्या होगा? All right. Beta, the thing is, जेई क्रैक करने के लिए, जेई एडवांस क्रैक करने के लिए यू नीड ओनली अबाउट 9 to 10 months ऑफ रिगरस प्रिपरेशन. ठीक है, अब आपने 11th बर्बाद किया, 12th बर्बाद किया, डज नॉट मैटर. इफ यू पुट इन 9 to 10 months ऑफ रिगरस प्रिपरेशन, एंड रिगरस मतलब रिगरस 12 से 14 घंटे की पढ़ाई, ठीक है, विथ फुल कॉन्सेंट्रेशन, देन ऑफ कोर्स इट कैन हैपन. ठीक है, बट दैट इज अ रिक्वायरमेंट. Alright, here I can see a lot of people have answered. Sushmita, increase. Sridhar D says. Yashwant, increase. Trendy says. Okay, बहुत सारे लोग बहुत जल्दी जल्दी आंसर कर रहे हैं. Okay, alright. Let's move on. मेरा नाम आपको सेशन के इसमें मिल जाएगा. Alright. So, let's see what happens. यहां पे क्या बात हो रही है? Here we're talking about the net contact force being constant, right? Here it is given that the contact force between rough horizontal surface and a body placed on it has constant magnitude, right? Magnitude constant है net contact force का. अब angle between force and vertical is decreased, right? मतलब क्या हुआ? यहां पे body है, angle between force and vertical is decreased. तो क्या होगा? You can see that this F cos theta component over here has to decrease now, right? And the F sin theta component has to increase, right? Think about it this way. Net अगर आपका angle पे है and you want to decrease the angle, मतलब क्या हुआ? इसका horizontal component जो है वो reduce होगा and the vertical component will increase. राइट, बिकॉज नेट तो हमारे पास कांस्टेंट है एंड नेट कांस्टेंट का हम एंगल वर्टिकल के पास लेके आ रहे हैं, राइट? दैट मीन्स दैट यस, द हॉरिजॉन्टल कंपोनेंट विल रिड्यूस. व्हाट इज एन हॉरिजॉन्टल कंपोनेंट? फ्रिक्शन, नो? सो फ्रिक्शन विल डिक्रीज. दैट्स इट. फ्रिक्शन डिक्रीजेस. हियर वी गो. ऑप्शन नंबर डी इज द करेक्ट आंसर. फ्रिक्शन विल डिक्रीज. ओके, all right, I hope this is really clear for you. If it is, let's move on now. Let's go to the next question now. Okay, here I've got another question for you. A cubical block rests on an inclined plane of coefficient of friction 0.6. What should be the angle of inclination so that the block just slides down the incline, right? देखो, incline पे block है. They're asking what should be the inclination so that it just slides. You have only 30 seconds. Your time has started. Come on, quickly tell me what is the answer. This was asked in 2011, right? And you can see that we are talking about a little bit of approximation here. क्यों? क्योंकि coefficient of friction की value दी है 0.6 and the answers are standard angles. Do you see that? 30 degrees, 60 degrees, 45 degrees, 90 degrees. So, what is the answer, guys? Tell me. You have the poll and here we go. Time's up. All right, let's see. Okay, I can see that a lot of people answered and okay. Saurabh says A, Shridha says A, Kiran 45 degrees. Question mark, huh Kiran? Solve नहीं किया? Okay. Yashwant says 30 degrees. All right, let's see. Seema Devi says D. All right, 90 degrees. Sham says B. Okay, let's see. So, what is happening, guys? यहाँ पे क्या चल रहा है? Cubical block inclined plane पे है. What should be the angle of inclination so that the block just slides down, right? मतलब क्या पूछ रहे हैं यहाँ पे? Angle of repose. That's what we're asking. Angle of repose is being asked. What should be the angle theta so that it just slides? Tan inverse mu. That's it. Theta is equal to tan inverse mu. Mu का value यहाँ पे दिया है 30 degrees. Sorry, mu का value दिया है 0.6. 0.6 का tan inverse निकालोगे तो मिलेगा approximately 30 degrees. Why? Because 1 by root 3 is equal to 0.58. ठीक है? So, we know the standard numbers का root values, right? कितना होता है? root 3 का value is √2 का वैल्यू इज 1.414, 1.414, √3 का वैल्यू इज 1.732. ये आपको याद रखना है, ठीक है. सो अब यहां पे क्या चेक कर सकते थे, यहां पे ये देख सकते थे कि 0.6 कैसे आया. 0.6 is not equal to 1.732. 0.6 is not equal to 1, right? तो 60 डिग्री और 60 डिग्री और 45 डिग्री तो हो ही नहीं सकता था. So what could have happened? You could check what is the value of 1 by √3. अगर आप कैलकुलेट करके चेक करोगे 1 by √3 का वैल्यू तो आपको 0.58 मिलेगा, मतलब closest to 6, 0.6, right? Okay, all right. I hope you understand this. तो इस क्वेश्चन में क्या था, इस क्वेश्चन में आपको सिंपल कॉन्सेप्ट लगाना था एंड अंडरस्टैंड कि स्टैंडर्ड वैल्यूज आपको याद रहे. ओके, ऑलराइट. सो ऑफ कोर्स 60 45 डिग्रीज हो नहीं सकता था. 90 डिग्रीज, वेल वर्टिकल थोड़ी ना करना पड़ेगा, वर्टिकल के पहले ही स्लिप कर जाएगा, राइट? तो 90 डिग्रीज ऑल्सो नॉट गोना हैपन. एंगल ऑफ रिपोज बहुत बहुत रेयरली 90 डिग्रीज होगा, नहीं होगा 90 डिग्रीज, ठीक है. ऑप्शन ए इज द करेक्ट आंसर. लेट्स मूव ऑन नाउ. लेट्स गो टू द नेक्स्ट थिंग, द लास्ट सब टॉपिक ऑफ टुडे, व्हिच इज डबल ब्लॉक प्रॉब्लम्स. ऑलराइट, सो 2 ब्लॉक प्रॉब्लम्स भी बोलते हैं इनको, डबल ब्लॉक सिस्टम भी बोलते हैं इनको. बहुत बहुत वेरी फेमस, वेरी कॉमन, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टाइप ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स. एंड कॉन्सेप्ट भी बहुत बेसिक से लगता है इसमें. देयर इज ओनली वन कॉन्सेप्ट हियर टू अंडरस्टैंड. इफ यू अंडरस्टैंड दैट देन यू विल बी एबल टू सॉल्व ऑल द क्वेश्चंस, ठीक है. ओके, सो 2 ब्लॉक प्रॉब्लम. 2 ब्लॉक प्रॉब्लम में क्या है, आपके पास ग्राउंड है, ग्राउंड के ऊपर फर्स्ट ब्लॉक इज केप्ट, ऑन द टॉप ऑफ फर्स्ट ब्लॉक सेकंड ब्लॉक इज केप्ट, ठीक है. देयर इज सम फ्रिक्शन बिटवीन ग्राउंड एंड द फर्स्ट ब्लॉक, देयर इज सम फ्रिक्शन बिटवीन first block and second block, ठीक है. Let's call them by their names. Masses are m1 and m2. Let's say this is A, this is B. यहां पे लिख देते हैं, ठीक है. Now the idea here is that if I apply a force on the lower block, अगर lower block को मैंने pull किया, then would the 2 blocks move together, right? Or would the second block m2 पीछे रह जाएगा क्या? What is going to happen? How to analyze this kind of a situation? That's what is there in 2 block problems, 2 block systems. Okay? All right. Lakshmi, tomorrow your exam is of English, huh? All right. But PCMB, फिजिक्स केमिस्ट्री बायोलॉजी पे अभी ज्यादा ध्यान दो क्योंकि नीट हमारा फाइनल टारगेट है, ठीक है. बट सेकेंड हाफ में इंग्लिश पढ़ने लग जाना. ऑलराइट, so here the idea behind it is, the idea in this entire scenario is that if I find out the condition for both of them moving together, ठीक है. अब ये ध्यान से समझना, 2 ब्लॉक प्रॉब्लम में बहुत लोगों को कंफ्यूजन होता है. सो प्लीज डू पे अटेंशन, डू अंडरस्टैंड यहां पे क्या हो रहा है, ठीक है. सो here if I want to find out कौन सी value of force, which value of force the 2 blocks will move together or might get separated, right? ये हमको figure out करना है. So think about it this way, if I start applying force, a very slow force, right, a very less value of force अगर मैं apply करती हूँ, तो what will happen? If I apply a very less value of force, it is a good chance that both of them move together, right? दोनों साथ में आते हैं. ये आप घर पे भी कर सकते हो. कैसे? एक बुक के ऊपर दूसरी बुक रखो और टेबल पे रख दो एंड नीचे वाली बुक को धीरे से पुल करो, ठीक है. As long as you apply a smaller value of force, you will have a scenario that both the books move together, both the blocks move together, ठीक है. But if you start increasing that value of pulling force, there will come a time, there will be a acceleration beyond which there will be slipping. So how do we do this? We'll say that since now both the blocks are moving together, acceleration of the first block is equal to acceleration of the second block is equal to acceleration of the system, ठीक है. मतलब क्या हुआ? A1 is equal to A2. That tells me अगर मैं पहले ब्लॉक का एनालिसिस करती हूँ, right, if I do the analysis of the first block, I'll say that net pulling force divided by mass of the first block is equal to net pulling force divided by mass for the second block. That's all. ठीक है, यही analysis करना है. This will tell us the maximum force that can be applied, for which these two will move together, beyond which there will be slipping. Okay? Alright. So अब यहाँ पे क्या बोल सकते हैं हम? We can say that let's take these two as a system, and we will say that since we are pulling M1 forward, मतलब M1's tendency is to go ahead, is to go forward with respect to M2. So what will happen? There will be friction force between M1 and M2, and I can see that. Look at the free body diagram of M2. See, if M1 is being pulled forward, if M1 has a tendency to go forward with respect to M2, then friction on M1 will be backward and friction on M2 will be forward. This is how the friction will be. Right? So now if I draw the free body diagram of M2, I can say that this is the value of friction. It has M2G downwards, it has normal reaction upwards, it's going with acceleration A. There is no other horizontal force, only friction force. Right? And friction force is equal to mu times N, because limiting value की बात कर रहे हैं, we are calculating maximum force for which there is no slipping. Right? Yes. So here I can say that this is actually limiting value, which is mu to M2G. Okay. Now that we have this, we can say that, see, acceleration will be equal to mass, force divided by mass, right? Pulling force divided by mass. So what is the acceleration then? A is equal to mu to M2G divided by mass. That gives me A is equal to mu to G, right? Okay, acceleration comes out to be mu 2g. Now what? Now I can say that for the second block also, if I calculate acceleration and equate them, see, for the first block I've calculated acceleration, for the second block also I can calculate and equate. Let's do that. So what do? We draw the free body diagram, right? अभी तक M2 का free body diagram बनाया था, अब M1 का free body diagram बनाते हैं, and then again I can say that for M1's free body diagram, weight going downwards, ground's normal reaction going up, normal reaction from M1, normal reaction from the upper block is this one. These are vertical forces, they'll get balanced, right? Now, we talk about friction force. So we'll say that M1 को external force लग रहा है forward direction में pull कर रहा है, right? That means with respect to M2 also it has a tendency of going forward, so friction will be backward. And with respect to ground also it has a tendency of going forward, मतलब friction will be backward, right? Friction will be backward. These two frictions will have different values. Let's say one is F1, the other is F2. Now, can I say that this friction between M1 and M2 will have the same value? M1 पे जो friction लगा रहा है M2 और M2 पे जो friction लगा रहा है M1, they are equal and opposite action reaction forces. So, इसकी value भी mu to M2G होगी. But if I talk about F1, जो ground से लग रहा है, then I can say that ये ground से लगने वाला friction की value होगी mu1 times N ground. And N ground, जब हम vertical forces को balance करेंगे, तो क्या निकल के आएगा? It will come out to be M1 plus M2 times G. ठीक है? तो F1 friction due to ground, ground जो friction लगा रहा है, उसकी value हो जाती है mu1, क्योंकि ये friction coefficient है, mu1 times M1 plus M2G. ठीक है? Now that we have this, right? Can we write acceleration of the block? बिल्कुल कर सकते हैं हम. Acceleration of the block लिख सकते हैं net pulling force divided by total mass. Net pulling force कितना हुआ? Forward pulling कर रहा है F max minus backward force which is F1 plus F2, right? So F1 minus F2 divided by total mass, right? F1 F2 की values हम substitute कर सकते हैं. Yes, we can do that. यहाँ पे लगाओ. F1 की वैल्यू सब्स्टिट्यूट की mu1 टाइम्स M1 प्लस M2 इंटू G माइनस F2 की वैल्यू सब्स्टिट्यूट की mu2 टाइम्स M2 इंटू G. This is acceleration of the lower block, right? Okay. What next? we'll just take these two accelerations, equate them, because दोनों साथ में जा रहे हैं ना, right? दोनों साथ में जा रहे हैं, ये पहले ब्लॉक का m2 का acceleration है, ये m1 का acceleration है. When we equate them and solve, ठीक है? When we equate them and solve, what we get is max value of force comes out to be m1 plus m2 into mu1 plus mu2 into g. Okay? Maximum value of force, external force that can be applied on the lower block so that both of them move together is this over here. ठीक है? अब क्या होगा कि अगर इस टाइप का कोई भी क्वेश्चन आता है तो you can directly apply this and solve and get your answer. ठीक है? अगर ट्विस्ट करके आता है, डिफरेंट वेरिएशंस मिलते हैं, तब आप बेसिक फंडा लगाओ, a1 equal to a2. बट अदर देन दैट मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम आपको सिंपल सवाल मिलते हैं नीट में, एंड सिंपल सवालों का इसमें डायरेक्ट एप्लीकेशन करके आ जाएगा आंसर. ऑलराइट? ओके, हियर आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड दैट अगर f मैक्स से, ये मैक्सिमम वैल्यू ऑफ फोर्स से इंक्रीज कर दिया वैल्यू, तो क्या होगा? स्लिपिंग हो जाएगी. देयर विल बी रिलेटिव मोशन बिटवीन द टू ब्लॉक्स. ठीक है? नाउ what if one of the friction coefficients becomes 0? अगर mu1 m1 और m2 के बीच में तो फ्रिक्शन है, बट ग्राउंड और m1 के बीच में फ्रिक्शन नहीं है. If that happens, then you can just take the same relation, substitute mu1 equal to 0 and get the answer. Right? तो क्या मिल गया हमको? f max is equal to m1 plus m2 times mu2 into g. Here we go. Again, अगर आप f max से ज्यादा फोर्स लगाते हो तो there will be slipping between the two blocks, relative motion हो जाएगा. There we go. I hope you've understood this really well. ठीक है? आगे बढ़े? Crystal clear? Tell me in the chat window if you understood this really well. Okay? Now, once we get this, let's take the next situation. So now what we can do is, we can say that m1 m2 तो रखा, right? We've got ground, we've got m1, m1 के ऊपर m2, right? पहले हम नीचे वाले ब्लॉक पे फोर्स लगा रहे थे, हम m1 पे फोर्स लगा रहे थे और देख रहे थे for what maximum value of force both move together. अब let's do the same thing on the other block, right? Simple. All right, okay. I can see that. Thank you. Okay. Aman, I'm great. I'm really glad that you're understanding this. Sandhya, Shivam, Kiran, Sridha. All right. Sushmita, got your feedback. Really glad that you're understanding this really well. ठीक है? But एक चीज है guys. क्लास के बाद ना कुछ और मत करना, सीधे फ्रिक्शन के क्वेश्चंस निकालना और सॉल्व करने बैठ जाना. Then only whatever concepts you've understood over here will get completely solidified. Okay? अभी आपको concepts अच्छे से समझ में आ रहा है, उसको solid करने के लिए क्लास के बाद तुरंत take 40-50 questions of friction, sit down, solve them within the hour. Okay? Alright. Let's move on. Let's go to the next, the other case that we have. पहले हमने क्या किया? We took m1 पे फॉरवर्ड फोर्स लगा दिया, एंड वी फिगर्ड आउट व्हाट इज द मैक्सिमम वैल्यू ऑफ फोर्स सो दैट बोथ द ब्लॉक्स मूव टुगेदर. नाउ वील डू द ऑपोजिट, वील टेक m2 एंड अप्लाई अ फोर्स ऑन इट, राइट? एंड वही फिगर आउट करेंगे, सेम फंडा लगाएंगे. लेट्स डू दैट. अगेन m2 पे फोर्स लगा रहे हैं, वी वांट बोथ ऑफ देम टू मूव टुगेदर. व्हाट इज द मैक्सिमम वैल्यू ऑफ फोर्स फॉर विच दे बोथ मूव टुगेदर? इसमें हम क्या करेंगे? अगेन ये को पूरा m1 प्लस m2 सिस्टम लेके काम करें. ओके? ऑलराइट. ओके, let's see what is our basic funda. Our basic funda is that if both of them are moving together, then acceleration of 1 is equal to acceleration of 2. That means net pulling force divided by mass for 2 is equal to net pulling force divided by mass for 1. Right? Yes. Let's apply the same thing. So, लेट्स ड्रॉ फ्री बॉडी डायग्राम ऑफ m1 फर्स्ट. m1 का फ्री बॉडी डायग्राम बनाएंगे तो क्या मिलेगा? mg going down, normal reaction from m2 going down, right? mg going down, normal reaction from n2 going down, normal from ground going up, and if I look at these two combined, the value is m1 plus m2 into g, right? Okay. So here I can say that normal due to ground will be equal to m1 plus m2 into g. Okay. Actually normal due to ground निकालने के लिए आप system लेके FBD भी बना सकते हो. Okay. So if you take the entire thing as a system, no, vertical forces are being balanced, right? अब vertical forces are being balanced, so I can say that external forces कौन कौन से लग रहे हैं? नीचे ग्रेविटी खींच रही है, दोनों का वेट, ऊपर normal reaction due to ground. So normal reaction due to ground will balance out weight of 1 plus weight of 2, मतलब m1g plus m2g. Here we go. Normal reaction due to ground is m1 plus m2 into g. Okay. Once we have that, we can say that ये friction value निकल जाएगी, right? Friction due to ground. How much is that? Mu times normal reaction due to ground. कितना आ गया? Mu times m1 plus m2 into g. See? Same value here. Okay. Look at these forces. What is happening here? As m1, as m2 is being pulled by a force F, तो क्या होगा? Relative motion का tendency है, m2 का tendency है आगे जाने का, तो m2 पे पीछे friction लगेगा, right? m2 का tendency है आगे जाने का, तो m2 पे पीछे friction लगेगा, m1 का पे आगे friction लगेगा, right? m1 पे आगे friction लगेगा. Look at relative motion का tendency. Okay. So here we can say that m1 पे आगे friction लग रहा है and due to mu2 m2 g, right? Okay. So here as well I can say that m1 पे आगे friction लग रहा है due to the upper block and पीछे friction लग रहा है due to ground. Understood? I hope this is clear. Again, we're going in a similar manner. So यहाँ पे भी हम क्या करेंगे? यहाँ पे भी हम acceleration calculate करेंगे. Acceleration calculate किया, acceleration is equal to net pulling force divided by total mass. F net upon total mass. Mass is m1 only. Pulling force कितना हो गया? Pulling force हो गया forward friction minus backward friction, right? Forward friction minus backward friction divided by total mass. कितना आ गया यहाँ पे? A is equal to mu2 m2g minus mu1 times m1 plus m2g divided by total mass m is 1, right? Okay, this is what it is. इसको थोड़ा सा simplify करोगे तो आपके पास acceleration आ जाएगा. Next what? हमने m1 को analyze कर लिया, अब हम m2 को analyze करते हैं. Let's go. Let's analyze m2. Acceleration जो पिछली स्लाइड में कैलकुलेट किया था वो यहाँ पे लाके रख लिया है, right? And for m2 again I can say that forward external force is acting forward and friction due to m1 is acting backward, right? Friction due to m1 is acting backward. नीचे gravitational force लग रहा है, ऊपर normal due to the second block लग रहा है. Here we go. Friction force will be equal to mu times the corresponding normal, right? Mu times m2g. Okay. What about acceleration? Again the same thing. Acceleration is equal to net pulling force divided by total mass. Net pulling force कितना हो गया? F max minus पीछे वाला force which is friction mu2 m2g divided by mass which is m2. Here we go, right? अब we have acceleration of the first block, acceleration of the second block. Since both of them are going together, acceleration of 1 is equal to acceleration of 2. As soon as we compare them, we equate them, we get the final answer, right? Equate करो दोनों को and F max का value निकल के आ जाएगा. Here we go. F max comes out to be mu2 minus mu1 times m2 by m1 into m1 plus m2 into g. ठीक है? Now, the idea here is that to shorten your time for question calculation, right? to shorten your time for solving a question. If you want, you can remember these results. But otherwise, basic तो आपको मालूम है. क्या करना है हमें? For them to move together, A1 equal to A2, दोनों का free body diagram बनाया. Net pulling force divided by mass for 1, net pulling force divided by mass for 2. Equate कर दिया, मिल जाएगा net maximum force with which you can pull. Okay? Alright. So, here as well, अगर F max से बढ़ा दिया force को तो relative motion हो जाएगा, there will be slipping between the two blocks. Same scenario over here as well. Okay. Now again, just like we did in the last case, अगर ground और first block के बीच में friction नहीं है, that means mu1 will become 0. Take the same F max का relation, substitute mu1 equal to 0, you get the maximum force, right? Maximum force for which the entire system moves together. Okay, F max comes out to be mu2 times m2 by m1 into m1 plus m2 into g. Alright? Okay. Now, again, I will say that although I have given all of these boxes for you, all of these relations for you, ready-made relations, do keep these ready-made relations in mind, but more important than that is to keep the concept in mind. Basic concept simple है 2 block problem का, 3 block problem में भी जाओगे तो वही basic concept लगेगा and you will be able to solve any given problem, right? Whether it's 2 block or 3 block or 2 frictions हैं या 3 frictions हैं या whatever it is. Okay? Alright. Now, here we go. With this, we are at the end of today's session. You can see that we've done what is friction, types of friction, comparison of static and kinetic friction. We finished angle of friction and then double block system. In the meantime, we have calculated some questions as well and you have got a good idea of कि कितने टाइम पे आप सॉल्व कर पा रहे हो, कितने पानी में हैं हम. And as soon as you get that idea, after this session is done, do practice questions. Now, I had promised you mind maps. Here we are with the mind maps. So, this contains the entire short notes of the chapter. Alright? What is friction? What is kinetic? Why friction happens? What is kinetic and static friction? Here we go. Nature of friction, graphical representation, and angle of friction, angle of repose, double block system. Okay? Now, with this, I will say goodbye. Go home, study well, happy learning.